Hi. We are going to be talking about the most common challenges women over 40 face when dating. Common challenges, common mistakes, and what to do instead. And because this is a live stream, you get to post your questions and I will answer your questions live. So, if you don't know me, I'm Naomi Thompson. I'm a dating and relationship coach. I help accomplished women attract and keep the love of their lives. And I know this light is a bit bright, but I either don't have my glasses on. There we go. I think that's better. So if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, tap the bell icon and choose all, and then you'll get notified every time I go live or when I post a new video. And if you're watching the replay, post a comment or a question below, just so I know that you were here. And I read them all. I read them all and I'll answer them all. So what are the most common challenges and mistakes that women make when they are dating in midlife, dating over 40? Well, the first that I come across is not trusting themselves to choose a good partner for themselves. This is so common. So not trusting themselves to pick well, not to pick the kind of guys that you've picked before. So if, for example, you've always gone for guys who didn't give you the love and attention you really wanted, you've always picked guys who maybe were always that little bit emotionally unavailable, or they were just not able to commit. And sometimes a guy will commit, but you can just never get the kind of closeness and the kind of real love that you've always dreamed of. So I'd love for you to try on an idea and try on the idea that you are at this point because you don't actually know your type. Now, I know if you say to anybody, if I was to ask you, what's your type? You may well say to me, oh, well, my type is tall and I like him dark and I like a guy who's been to university. And you'll have an idea of what maybe your physical and external type is. But if you are here, you are in midlife, or you are here after a lifetime of wrong relationships, then really it's going to be the most useful for you to take on the idea that you do not know your type yet. Because if you did, you'd be with him in a happy, loving relationship. So this is about learning actually who are the kind of guys that I normally attract and that I'm actually attracted to. Really dive into the old patterns and go, what is it that was familiar about them all? What is it that I was really attracted to in the beginning? What was it about them all that kind of disappointed me? What were the things I felt most hurt and upset about? And that is going to really help you become more aware. That's going to up level and raise your level of self-awareness so that when it comes to dating, you're going to be able to better discern what are the guys from the old patterns and who are the kind of guys who are going to be great partnership material for you. And the next thing there about this challenge that women have of not trusting themselves to choose a good partner is getting clear on the relationship you really want and the relationship you really need. Part of that is owning up to your desire. Own up. What is it you really want? And so often, as I said before, we think we want tall, dark, and handsome, university educated and rich. But actually, how do you want to feel in the relationship you want? That is going to give you far more clues, far more discernment when you're dating. And actually, I've got something great to tell you. I'm going to tell you in this next step. And in the whole process of trusting yourself, learning to trust yourself to choose a good partner, you are going to want to learn how to choose compatibility over chemistry. And choosing compatibility over chemistry is going to change everything. Now, I know people then say to me, well, chemistry is important. Of course, chemistry is important. Chemistry very rarely leads to the kind of compatibility that you'll be looking for a long-term relationship. Occasionally it does, but most of it doesn't. But compatibility is much more likely to grow and grow in chemistry. And then when you've got compatibility and you've got chemistry, then my darling, you have hit gold. And because someone you're compatible with can give you the relationship you want, or you can create that relationship together. The second is jumping in too quickly, jumping into a relationship too quickly. Now, I just want to check something because when I tried doing this live earlier, I had tech issues and someone was trying to tell me. So jumping in too quickly. When you are dating after divorce or a big breakup, there can be this feeling of excitement. Once the initial pain has come, has worn off and you're not feeling so bruised and so hurt anymore, there can be this initial excitement, like dating was new and shiny. Maybe you didn't feel particularly kind of attractive in your relationship as it was coming to an end. Maybe you felt invisible, and suddenly there's all these guys finding you attractive, asking you out. You can start to feel turned on by that. The chemistry starts flowing. And we love that whole feeling of adrenaline. So then the temptation is to jump in to a relationship really quickly. And what to do instead of that is let a man show you with his consistent actions over time whether or not he's a great partner for you. When we've had this whole chemistry excitement, our brain starts to tell us all sorts of stories. We start thinking, oh my God, I found the one. It's going to be amazing. He's everything I've ever wanted. But actually, anybody can be on their best behavior in the first couple of weeks, couple of months. Even you can. What you want to see is a man's actions. How can he show you with his consistent actions over a period of time that he is willing to communicate about the difficult stuff, that he's kind, that he is his word, that he does what he says he's going to do, that he doesn't just message you and call you every day in the first 3 weeks, but he'll do that in the 3 months, and then he'll do that forever. So there's nothing wrong with having a fling if that's what you want to do. But if you are dating with the intention of meeting a partner to share your life with, and maybe meeting your second husband if you've been married before, or meeting your first husband if you've just been in a lifetime of wrong relationships, then be careful of jumping in too quickly, and instead let a man show you with his consistent actions over time if he is a great partner for you. Now, I'm talking about the common mistakes and challenges women over 40 face when they're dating. And we've spoken about not trusting yourself to choose a good partner for yourself, jumping in too quickly. If you have any questions, do pop them in the chat and I will answer you live as we go along. So the next challenge and mistake women make is being afraid to open their heart again. Now, I completely understand. I was there dating after divorce. My husband had an affair. It was, out there going, oh my gosh, there's this whole world of love. It feels scary. So what can happen if we're not careful is we can end up putting a shell around ourselves. We can end up putting up armor, and we have the kind of energy which is, I'm suspicious until you prove your innocence, until you prove that you're a good guy. And I'm not going to open up my heart until someone has really shown me that they really love me. The problem with that is you're energy gets shut down. You will give off a more aloof vibe. I know I did that for quite a while with dating. Guys would be like, I don't know where I am with you. Do you like me? Do you not like me? There was part of me that was afraid of opening up. Now, if you can relate to this pattern, and do pop any comments or questions in the comments section, and I will answer them. But if you can relate to that, what happens is you will meet a guy, you'll be guarded, you're dating, he seems really keen, and then you go, oh, and I'll open my heart and I'll just settle into it. And suddenly it's like he's gone. You can feel his energy imperceptibly pulling away, and it feels awful. And what that does then is reinforce to you, I was absolutely right to keep my heart closed. But actually, when we are closed, we are going to be far more attractive to men who have a lower tolerance for intimacy. We are going to be far more attractive to men who are who will struggle with a much closer relationship. Men who are more likely to avoid intimacy, men who are like fiercely independent. Yeah. So when your heart is open, what I'd say to you is you're not opening your heart to a man. You're not opening your heart to relationships. What you're opening your heart to are your feelings. So bear with me here. In dating and relationships, I believe we're not afraid of relationships. We're not afraid of intimacy. We're not afraid of dating because dating isn't hard. Relationships aren't hard. What's hard is struggling with the feelings that we get, the fear of rejection. And the fear of rejection is the fear of the feeling of rejection. And what we're afraid of is the conclusions we come to around it. If I'm rejected, that means that I am somehow not good enough. And I know we're talking about big things here, but actually, when we are dating after divorce or a lifetime of wrong relationships, there are going to be patterns and habits inside of us that have been keeping away the kind of love that we really want. So understanding, look at all of us here. We are women. We are women who have lived a life. We have been through so much in our life. We have been through heartbreak. We have lost loved ones. We've lost friendships. We've had financial insecurity. We have been through so much. We can do hard things. You can do hard things. So actually learning how to process your emotions and process your feelings and understand that what's keeping me closed is the thoughts I'm having, is my mindset. I know this is deep stuff, but this is fundamental. Fundamental. This is about learning, instead of being strong on the outside with all that armor to protect us from the hurts of the world, what you learn instead is how to be strong on the inside. How to be strong on the inside. And when we wear our strength on the inside, let me share an analogy with you that's going to really help you here. When we are strong on the outside, we're armored, we're protected. It's like an egg, like a raw egg. And that raw egg has got this tough shell on the outside that's actually quite fragile. Whereas on the inside, it's insubstantial. If that egg were to break, it can't hold together. And on a deep level, we keep our hearts closed because we feel if anyone gets too close to us, they will see the insubstantialness in us. They will see the weakness. They will see we're somehow not good enough, that we can't hold ourselves together. The vulnerability just feels too terrifying. When we choose and learn how to wear our strength on the inside, we're like a peach. And a peach has her strength, her seed of strength on the inside. And when you wear that strength on the inside, like a peach, you're soft, juicy, desirable on the outside. So anyone who's just joined us, we are talking about the common mistakes that and the challenges that women over 40 have when they're dating. And this third one I'm talking about is being afraid to open our heart. So when you learn how to be strong on the inside, and the route to that is learning how to feel your feelings. It feels almost too simple. You love the egg and the peach analogy. It's absolutely brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant because it's so true. I was the armored girl. I was tough on the outside. I was critical of my husband. I couldn't let go of control. I would try and control everything. I would try and control the dating process until in the end he said to me, I just can't make you happy. Nothing I can do. I can't get anything right with you. And he was right. I was trying to control everything because I felt like I had to keep this shell. But actually, learning how to just feel your feelings is going to change everything for you. So I'm just going to recap on that for anyone who's just joined. The most common challenges women over 40 face when they start dating again. And if you're watching on YouTube, please do hit the subscribe button and tap the bell and then tap all. And then every time I go live, every time I put a new video up, you will get notification. So first off, maybe you don't trust yourself to choose a good partner for you. Secondly, maybe you jump in too quickly. And thirdly, actually being afraid of opening your heart again. So any questions you have, please drop them in the chat. I had some questions emailed to me from people who couldn't make it live today. Someone said to me, what is the difference when you're dating over 40 or after divorce and you're dating people who are mostly divorced compared to dating when you're younger? Okay, there is an incredible opportunity when you're dating after divorce or when you are in midlife. Maybe you've had your children already. And when we're dating when we're younger, there is like biology at work. We are not in control of everything. Our biology is moving us towards meeting a mate, partnering up, settling down, and having a family. And it's stronger than we are, this biology. And so what can be missed in that process is the process of discernment, really choosing. So often when we're young, we go for chemistry over compatibility. And as I said earlier in this, what we get when we're dating over 40 or dating after divorce is we get to discern who is a great partner for me? What are the qualities in a man that are great, that are going to be great partnership qualities for the rest of my life? So when we choose compatibility over chemistry, it starts with compatibility. And yes, I can hear you saying, but I want chemistry with my guy. Of course you do. But in many occasions, real true compatibility, chemistry then can grow. And when chemistry grows, my goodness, you've absolutely hit gold. But very rarely does chemistry then lead to compatibility. But how many people here married, how many of you listening married someone who you mainly had chemistry with, and chemistry wears off, but compatibility often doesn't, especially if you are dating in midlife. You're an intelligent woman, you are accomplished, many of the women I speak to are in my community, who I speak with in my newsletters, and they reply to me, my clients, they are women who are learning and growing. They want to grow. They want to up-level their tolerance for intimacy and their self-awareness. So as you do that, the opportunity there for you is to really decide now, consciously, what's the kind of relationship I want? Because actually, when you're dating in midlife, often you don't need a man to provide for a family. Now, I know some of you may have young children and so on, and then, that's slightly different, but the discernment can still be the same. And I could talk for ages about that. Absolutely. So, okay, I love this other question. Um, how can I express my uncomfortable feelings in a way that is warm and not resentful? I struggle with angry and resentful feelings when I don't get my way, and I turn my man off when I do that. Okay, feminine communication is one of my favorite subjects because I was dreadful at it. I would do the ABCs, advising, blaming, criticizing. I know that that made my husband feel like he couldn't do anything right. He'd be criticized whatever he did. So it was very hard for him to just step up and make his own decisions and trust himself to make mistakes. So what I realized is I had a whole load of feelings inside me that I couldn't express. So this question's great because it's a process. The first off is notice what you are actually feeling. Because often when we've got something to communicate, we are thinking, I want him to do something different. He's not doing that right. And all our energy is over there with him. If you just bring your energy back to you and say, well, what is it that I am feeling? What's important to me? What do I not want? What do I want? Then you're going to be able to communicate that. So if you are feeling uncomfortable, as this question was, I have uncomfortable feelings. Maybe it's like, I feel disconnected to us. I feel like we're kind of far away from each other at the moment. I feel lonely. When that is the feeling to express. So I think I'll do a whole call on feminine communication at some point, but if you are, first off, I would say to a man, I wanted to share something with you. I've got some feelings to share with you. Is now a good time? Why is that important? Now a good time? Because you want your man to be receptive, in a receptive state, that he's chosen to listen. If you're anything like I was, I remember standing in front of the football, just talking to him. I mean, it's awful. I feel almost embarrassed to say it. But what happens is he'll be turned off. You won't get anything from him, any receptivity. If he says, yes, now's great, or later when I finished work, you know that you're going to get the best from him. So then what you want to do is communicate how you are feeling and just say, I'm feeling really far apart from us. I feel lonely at the moment. When I was excited, I felt excited when you suggested we go out for dinner. And then when it hasn't happened, I just found myself feeling really sad. Can you see? I statements and feel statements are about you, not about him. It would be different if you came in with, well, you just didn't organize that date. You're never doing anything romantic. It's totally different. That's all about blame. And what that does, he doesn't get to see you and he doesn't get to see your vulnerability. So when we are doing the advising, the blaming, the criticizing, and all our energies with him, it's like, okay, I'm going to give you an example with this. I got this flask. On the inside, he knows, it's like communicating like this. So he knows something's going on the inside, but all he sees is this, what's going on the outside. So he knows there's something in there, but he doesn't know what it is. And he thinks it's probably his fault. So he's going to be defensive. And you all know what it's like speaking with a guy when he's defensive and you're trying to get your needs met, and it's just horrible and you feel worse. When we speak with I statements and feel statements and we're vulnerable and we're talking about what's going on inside of us, it's like this. He can see straight in. He knows what's going on. There's no drama there. With the other way, it feels like drama. There's like a fuzz and he's like, what's going on? Here, he knows. Even if you're saying to him, I feel angry with you. I feel angry with what you did. It's real. He can see straight in and there's no drama and he's much more likely to hear you and fix it. So, my darlings, it's been really great to be here. Any final questions, just pop them in the comments. I will be going live doing a Wednesday love stream 2 hours earlier than this one every Wednesday. I had tech issues, so it was a little bit later today. And again, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell, hit all, and you will get notified. And I will put a link to my free audio training. If you get on my newsletter, you'll get tools and tips for dating. You get to ask me questions and I will reply to them in newsletters, and you will get to know about these live streams. So, loads of love to you all, and I will see you next week.